I'm proud of our fight, the toughness that we showed, our ability to stay together. Our bench was really engaged in every timeout and in every huddle. We were all engaged.
6 records broken, 1 point short. That's the devastating reality Caitlin Clark faced after her performance against the Atlanta Dream. While the scoreboard showed a 91-90 loss, the record books were being completely rewritten.
Dug themselves into an early hole here. Clark looking to get going. Oh, that's a deep 3!
You're about to witness the emotional roller coaster of Clark's night against Atlanta, from referee controversies that had her boyfriend tweeting in frustration, to the exact moment she shattered records that took other legends hundreds of games to achieve. One just blew Sabrina Ionescu out of the water. The most shocking part? One of these records took Courtney Vandersloot 394 games to reach, while Clark did it in just 42. Comment, fired up for the Fever down below to show your support, despite the heartbreaking loss. Let's go.
Yes, this stinks. We want to win this game. But, I think this is great for our team. A little adversity. How are we going to respond? How are we going to come in here tomorrow morning and watch the film and learn and get on the court and get better? And like I said, that's why this league is so great. You have a couple days and then you get right back to it. You find a way to respond. We have a chance to go there and play them, actually. So it's even better, I guess. We can, get a little redemption if we go down there and play well.
What if I told you that one of the greatest individual performances in WNBA history still wasn't enough to secure a win? That's exactly what happened when the Fever faced the Atlanta Dream in a nail-biter that ended in a devastating 91-90 loss. 1 point. That's all that separated Clark from adding a team victory to her record-breaking night.
Honestly, I give my team a lot of credit, my teammates a lot of credit. We never gave up. We fought. We were right there. We found a way to get back in it. When things didn't seem very good for this group, at least we stayed together and we kept fighting, and that's a positive.
Those final moments tell the story of what could have been. With just 9.7 seconds left on the clock and down by 1, Clark inbounded the ball to Natasha Howard. The play was actually designed for Aaliyah Boston, but Dream defenders cut off that option. Howard got a good look, but her shot was blocked by Nia Coffey. Howard grabbed her own rebound for a second chance, but the ball just wouldn't fall.
They shot 32 free throws. It's a lot of free throws. Going to be difficult to win a lot of games when we foul people that much and put them at the line that much. It's tough. They made 25 out of 32. We still went to the line 26 times, missed 10. So that's the game really right there. It obviously doesn't come down to that, but, it's just a little thing.
Free throws turned out to be the silent killer for the Fever. They shot a disappointing 16 for 26 from the line, missing 10 crucial free points in a game decided by just 1. Howard went 0 for 4 from the line in the fourth quarter alone. Boston also missed a key free throw down the stretch. In a 1-point game, those misses loom large. The Fever showed incredible heart, though, fighting back from double-digit deficits multiple times. Their resilience was on full display, but the defense just couldn't stay consistent for 4 quarters. The Dream scored 31 in the first quarter and 32 in the third, while the Fever managed to hold them to just 13 and 15 in the second and fourth. That inconsistency proved costly. Coach Stephanie White didn't mince words about the defensive problems.
I didn't think we were disruptive at all. I felt like we let them move the ball wherever they wanted to. We had a lot of breakdowns in our coverages. We weren't really helping one another out. We played like 5 individuals defensively at times instead of collectively as a unit. And good teams take advantage of that. Atlanta was really good at getting downhill. They knocked down some tough shots, but when you dig yourself a hole, it makes it really difficult to use all your energy to come back.
The Dream's strategy to contain Clark worked just enough. They used multiple defenders and full-court pressure to disrupt her rhythm. Dream coach Carl Smesko said, "We tried to keep it out of some people's hands, including Clark. We were just hoping to force them into taking a tough shot."
What was the plan defensively for the Fever's last possession of the game?
We just put a lineup up there that we thought could match up. We were going to, if we needed to, we'd switch if we got hung up on anything. We tried to keep it out of some people's hands. And we were just hoping to take a tough shot. And, they probably got a shot that they felt good about, but we played really good defense on the shot. We, didn't foul and made it tough.
Inside, the Fever had no answer for Brittney Griner and Brianna Jones, who combined for a dominant 40 points and 21 rebounds. Ryan Howard added 20 points, including 4 three-pointers, to seal the deal for Atlanta. You can see the chemistry still forming with this budding Fever team. Defensive rotations broke down at crucial moments. Players looked unsure of help assignments. Split-second decisions that come with team familiarity just weren't there yet. We'll talk about the records in a bit, but this loss stings even more because of something that was completely out of the players' control. The officiating that had everyone from fans to Clark's own boyfriend up in arms.
Boston continues to show her frustration. It really started a couple.
Imagine playing your heart out, breaking records left and right, only to have crucial calls missed that completely changed the game's outcome. That's exactly what happened in this heartbreaker against Atlanta, and the frustration was written all over Clark's face. The officiating was so questionable that coach Stephanie White was forced to burn both of her challenges in the first half alone. Let that sink in. Both challenges gone before halftime on what White called point-blank missed calls. One challenge was wasted on a simple out-of-bounds play that should have been an easy call for the officials.
How disruptive were that first half, the choppy waters, the stoppages like Caitlin was talking about, and you guys never really were able to get in the pace like you've been talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's every coach's frustration when you have to use challenges on out-of-bounds plays. I mean, it is what it is. But for teams to win 3 challenges in the first half, I don't know that I've ever seen that either.
Clark couldn't hide her frustration as the game wore on. Every drive to the basket seemed to involve contact, yet the whistles stayed silent. Her arms flew up in disbelief after multiple no calls, her frustration building with each missed opportunity. You could see her trying to maintain composure while having conversations with the refs that clearly weren't going anywhere.
Got a piece of the ball, and Clark says part of her arm as well. Jump ball is the... Well, she's just so impressive because it's felt like a relatively quieter Caitlin.
The controversy reached beyond the court when Connor McCaffrey, Clark's boyfriend, took to social media with a tweet that instantly went viral. Good to see the W refs in mid-season form. That post racked up thousands of retweets within hours as fans and analysts united in their criticism. Video evidence backed up these complaints. Multiple possessions showed Clark absorbing contact on drives with no whistle. In one particularly obvious sequence, she was bumped while shooting a three-pointer, yet officials swallowed their whistles despite clear contact on the follow-through.
Just the first half seemed pretty choppy with, the amount of fouls, the challenges. Just how did that affect you as the point guard and just the team's pace as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, to me, challenges cannot take that long. It ruins the flow of the game. I get it. It's early in the year. The refs want to make the right call. We can't sit there for 2.5, 3 minutes and on an obvious hit out of bounds off of them and still not know the call. I get it. There's things to look at. There's the clock. There's is the ball going to be taken out. But that's not the only reason the flow of the game was ruined. But we're just standing there. We're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And then obviously, like I said, a lot of free throws shot between both teams tonight. That makes the game more choppy when there's a lot of fouls.
These missed calls didn't just cost free throws. They disrupted the entire offensive flow for Indiana. The game became choppy and disjointed, preventing the Fever from finding any consistent rhythm. Clark addressed this directly after the game, noting how difficult it was for the team to find their flow with so many questionable calls. As one commentator put it, the officiating was on full display tonight. It was terrible. Another simply described the refs as hilarious, and not in a good way. The question now becomes whether the WNBA will address these concerns as Clark continues bringing unprecedented attention to the league. A 1-point loss with this many controversial calls deserves scrutiny. But through all this disappointment came an incredible silver lining, a historic performance that rewrote the record books in ways nobody saw coming.
When Coach White is put in a position to have to use both her challenges in the first half on calls that were pretty point blank, and then we're left with none there in the second half, which, you can pick and choose. Maybe you save them, maybe you don't, but still, every single possession matters. But like I said, it doesn't come down to that. No matter what, if it's a choppy game, we got to find a way to find our flow a little bit better, especially to start the game and start the second half, for sure.
While the scoreboard showed defeat, the record books were being completely rewritten right before our eyes. In a single night, Caitlin Clark didn't just break one record, she shattered 6 of them and added 2 more milestones to her resume. This wasn't just a good game, this was a historic performance that puts her in a category all her own.
Another second chance opportunity. Clark fire away and knocks down a 3. That is just that signature Caitlin Clark shot. She will launch. Oh, yes!
Let's start with something that will blow your mind. Clark ties Courtney Vandersloot's record for the most 20-point, 10-assist games in WNBA history with 10 such performances. The difference? Clark did it in just 42 games, a league record. Vandersloot needed 394 games to reach that same mark. That's not a typo. 394 games versus 42. Clark is doing in one season what took other legends' entire careers.
There's that drag screen.
Bounce it for Boston. Boston lays it in. It's a 2-point game.
They haven't had much of that tonight.
She became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 350 career assists, getting there in those same 42 games. The previous record holder, Ticha Penicheiro, whose rookie assist record Clark broke last year, needed 47 games back in 1999. Even more impressive when you consider legends like Sue Bird and Teresa Weatherspoon each needed 56 games to hit that mark. Remember Sabrina Ionescu's record of 5 games with 25-plus points and 10-plus assists? Gone. Clark now holds that record with 6 such games. Ionescu needed 5 years in the WNBA to set her mark. Clark passed her in year 2. Here's something that had never happened before in the history of the W. Clark became the first player ever to open a season with back-to-back games of 20-plus points and 10-plus assists. Most players dream of having one such game in a season. Clark started her sophomore year with 2 straight.
Different times during the game. Situational defense will be better because they have all those things. I think that's a combination of why they're going to have a much better defensive effort.
There's Clark with a beautiful find inside to Aaliyah Boston.
The versatility is what makes her special. She's now the first player in WNBA history with multiple games of 25-plus points, 10-plus assists, 5-plus rebounds, and 5-plus three-pointers made. Nobody else has done this more than once. Clark has already done it multiple times in just 42 games. Her final stat line against the Dream? 27 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 5 three-pointers, shooting 9 of 20 from the field and 5 of 11 from beyond the arc. Just another day at the office. And she's not done breaking records. She's also achieved 2 milestones as she climbs up WNBA all-time ranks. Clark is now the 4th fastest player to score 800 career points, showcasing how quickly she's racking up numbers across the board. She also tied Chelsea Gray for the 10th most double-doubles by a guard in WNBA history. Again, in a fraction of the games it took other stars.
The other thing they're trying to speak into existence is 6 or 7 players averaging double figures. They believe it.
Backdoor pass there from Clark to Kelsey Mitchell.
The last season and into this year. Such a great backdoor cut.
What makes these achievements so remarkable is how Clark combines elite passing with scoring versatility. She's not just a shooter or just a passer. She's elite at both simultaneously. Her consistency is what separates her from other young stars. Back-to-back 20-point 10-assist games to open the season shows this wasn't a one-game wonder. The scary part? Clark is still developing. She's still learning the league. She's still building chemistry with her teammates. What happens when she really gets comfortable? What records will fall when she's in her prime? The possibilities seem endless. These individual achievements point to something bigger brewing in Indiana. While one game ended in a heartbreaking loss, the long-term trajectory of this Fever team with Clark at the helm should have the rest of the league worried. Very worried.
Second chance opportunity. Clark fire away and knocks down a 3.
And then right here. Boy, you've grown to love watching it.
Even after the heartbreak of a 1-point loss, you can't ignore what's building in Indiana, a dynasty in the making. This painful defeat against Atlanta actually revealed just how high this Fever team's ceiling really is. When your team breaks multiple records in a loss, imagine what they'll do when everything clicks. The contrast is striking. Clark's historic night paired with issues that are completely fixable. Free throws, defensive rotations, late-game execution. These aren't talent problems. They're chemistry problems that naturally improve with time.
But like I said, it was just flat. We missed free throws. We missed layups. We didn't really execute. They were physical. And I think that was kind of why we weren't and didn't feel as smooth as we would have liked there.
Look at the core that's already established. Aaliyah Boston put up a monster 24-point, 10-rebound double-double against Atlanta. Coach White praised her outstanding effort, battling against the Dream's bigs. Kelsey Mitchell added 24 points of her own and showed the leadership this young team needs. Lexi Hull brought energy off the bench that changed the game's momentum multiple times.
I thought AB was outstanding. She battled, for what, 36, almost 37 minutes. And BG and Bree Jones are two of the best bigs in our league. I thought she did an outstanding job, and we got to learn and grow from it.
Now add the veterans who are still finding their place. Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, Sydney Colson, and Brianna Turner. Sophie Cunningham hasn't even played yet due to injury. This is a team still figuring itself out. Coach White couldn't help but praise her team's fight. I'm proud of our fight and our resilience. We stayed together. We stayed engaged. That ability to claw back from double-digit deficits speaks volumes about their character. As White pointed out, we've fallen behind in games and stayed together.
Kelsey and AB and Caitlin have played together, so they have this synergy. And really with DB and with Tosh, like how we bring them into the fold, so to speak. And that's a challenge that we're looking into. We're trying to figure out. Shorter stints because it was an up and down game, right? And I felt like Kels, Caitlin, and Lexi were giving us really good stuff, on both ends of the floor. And it's tough when you feel like you're starting to get some momentum to sub. I probably should have subbed a little bit more in that second half, but like the group that was out there.
The statistical improvements from last season jump off the page. The Fever are already showing higher scoring numbers, better assist percentages, and improved three-point shooting. Their offensive rating has climbed significantly even as chemistry develops. Strangely enough, this loss might accelerate their growth more than an easy win. Clark admitted this game gives us an opportunity to learn, adding that the team is building relationships and communication. These painful lessons forge stronger bonds than comfortable victories. What makes this team so dangerous going forward is the combination of Clark's record-breaking talent with a collective hunger after such a devastating loss. When the fixable issues get fixed, and they will, the rest of the WNBA should be scared of what's coming. The future isn't just bright. The future is Fever.
It's a part of, being a professional athlete. It comes with the territory. Some nights is good and some nights is bad. Do I want us to make them? Yeah. Do they want to make them? Yeah. But I think that it's a part of the game, and we can't, hang our hats on those missed free throws. However, as a professional athlete, it's important and imperative that we do have them. So we know the importance of it.
This game against Atlanta showed us exactly what the Fever's future holds. 6 broken records in a single night by Clark. Boston and Mitchell becoming the stars they're meant to be. Yet Coach White knows the truth. We still have to figure out how to get all 5 players on the floor on the same page on both ends of the floor. That's what makes this team so fascinating. The talent is already there. The chemistry is coming. The defensive rotations will tighten. The free throws will fall. What happens then? A championship Fever is coming. One that builds with every record Clark breaks and every lesson this young team learns together. The best part? It's only just begun. Comment, "Fired up for the Fever," down below to show your support despite the heartbreaking loss. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.